Hello, world. Today, I want to share with you 3 things that I have been told time and time again by many different people, and why I think I have been told these on a regular basis. Um, One thing I have been told by many people, coworkers, friends, even a boyfriend once, which I thought was kind of weird when it comes down to it, is that I treat everybody exactly the same. Again, I think that's really weird when a boyfriend tells me that, when there are certain things with the boyfriend that I'm doing that I'm not doing with everybody else. But to each their own and their thoughts. And again, that is a past sort of situation. There's a reason we aren't together anymore. Actually, a lot of reasons why that one and I aren't together anymore. I wanted more for him than I was going to give, for sure. But I treat everybody exactly the same. I've been told this by coworkers. I've been told this by friends. I have been told this by people that just kind of know me. And again, boyfriend on that whole end of things. So it must be true. It definitely must be true. One thing I have also learned is when it comes to Satanists, there is a unspoken law of treating others as they treat you. And I'll tell you, I've been treated very well by Satanists. So again, it's that golden rule, and it comes down to, if you know how do you want to be treated, it's really easy to treat other people that way. So I want to be treated in loving kindness. I treat others in loving kindness. That's just how it is for me, and that's just where it goes with that. Do I have moments where I make the mistake of treating others as they treat me? In a sense, yes, sometimes. It will come down to being treated in the negative way too often, too much, or there are times too that and I know this happens to a lot of people, that I can't quite get out what I need to say or express, and I might come across a little in a kind of way, and not meaning to necessarily on that. So it's not necessarily that I am treating the other person poorly. I don't know how to communicate it, and the other person may not be willing to be understanding to what I'm going through in those cases. And that part I know for sure is true and has happened quite a bit here and there. I have been told many times by a few different people, I am going to heaven. Again, as I talked about yesterday, when I was born, when I was created, God took the sky and that I was going to learn of and wrapped my skin in it. And I've been told that I'm going to go to heaven by a few people. Ironically enough, a lot of Catholics have told me that, and I won't deny them. My answer to them when they tell me that is, yes, I am, and I'm taking everybody with me. Because why not? Nobody else will. And then the last of the 3 things that I have been told more often than not, and it kind of ties into the whole thing, is I should start my own religion. Yeah, no. No, 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 no. Last thing we need is another religion to make people think that they have a sense of betterment over others. What we need at this point is to be more understanding of the religions that are here and now at this point in time, and be willing to be open to the celebration and how people are to God and how they might actually term their God. And it's not their God, it's our God always. I mean, to me, in so many ways, Allah means all of us, but that's just my opinion on that. And again, I don't want to start another religion when I found God through the people. It's the people that I have learned of God. Yesterday was actually the anniversary of my father's death, back in early 80s. And it was very interesting in my life, my education with Catholicism. While I had already been born, I had done some of the church and such like that. My actual education, confirmation and such like that started after my father's death. So of course, Our Father who art in heaven was very easy for me, because while I didn't know my father and I met him at his funeral, obviously he would have gone to heaven. That was just my thinking on that whole thing. So of course that started a little bit, but it wasn't the full ends of it. It was kind of, I kind of look at it as it was kind of a way of packaging my life that had happened. It was a way of kind of healing something that I didn't know. I didn't know my father. I met him at the funeral. And of course, I start Catholicism and the education on that end of things, and learn about God, heaven, those sorts of things through the religious end of things. Um, and then, of course, again, by the time I was 12, moved to Vegas, learned that other people believe in God and it's not just Catholics. And I got fascinated by the whole idea of God. And then by the time I was in my teenage years, especially my late teenage years and my early 20s, I started asking people what they believed, and I was able to learn a lot from other people. So again, I got introduced, I got to know Satanists, I got to know um, some Muslims that did teach me a little bit, namely men that were willing to kind of show me their traditions, how they honored God, the prayer times, such things like that. Um, I got to go to a Greek church, spend time with some Greeks and the Orthodox traditions. I've gone to a Wiccan church, spent some time during that whole thing. Honestly, that one, the place that we went to for that, they had a lot of crystals that they used, and it gave me a headache to be around that many crystals. So I didn't spend a lot of time. I found it fascinating still, but it hurt to be in that whole way of things. So no, I will not create a new religion. I'm here to help an understanding of all the religions and all the ways of God in so many ways. And I think that's all I'm going to share today. I had a little bit more of a story, but that story actually goes into a very, very, very broad thing. Um, I will be talking about my spirit guide and how I got to see how my spirit guide introduced itself to me, and the journey that we have taken, and a few other things that go along with that whole thing. So as for now, I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun, be safe, and get healthy.